Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Omerta, City of Gangsters. And you know, I've been playing a little bit into this scenario and kind of trying to get things established. And I know it's been a little while since we've done any recording, but my life has just been like 100% go, go, go for the last little while. I just haven't had the... Whoops, I knocked something over. Haven't had the time to really sit down and do some recording. And the times that I have, well, I had some time, yeah, yesterday, but I was just in such a crappy mood. I was just like, I'm not feeling it today. I can't do it. So I decided to postpone it until today, in which I feel a little bit better.
Where's going to hell for? A real boss ain't
Anyway, yeah, it's just been work or then election planning committee stuff, and that's kind of been the two alternating modes of my life at this point in time. I want to establish. Oh, did I rent this already? I can't remember the stuff that I have done and haven't done.
I won't beat my gums, boss.
But anyway, so yeah, now I have the time and to do a little bit of recording, and so I'm gonna take the opportunity to do some recording as well as this microphone. You know, when I bought it, I thought it would make recording better and increase audio quality and that type of stuff, but it's not doing that. So I decided I'm gonna return it and exchange it for another one. And the microphone I'm gonna get actually comes to me. I've ordered it online, and I'm gonna wait for it to get here, which will be about a week or whatever, and then once it gets here, I'll take this back to the store where I bought it from. But
I took the jam out of their donut.
Our racket job isn't going to send a clear message as long as there are other rackets running in the neighborhood.
You need to make those other rackets disappear. Buy them, bankrupt them, or drive them out. I don't care what you do. We can forget about those hefty profits while some others eat the pie. Use your imagination. Ragazzo, break a leg. Objective, eliminate independent rackets. But, yeah. Anyway, so, you know, I was talking about some of the issues I was having with this microphone, and then a fan messages me, and I can't remember his name because I don't have all this stuff right in front of me.
A respected member of the community lives here. Our community. He's called Mr. Wolf.
Nobody touches him in his district, not even Louis Constantino. He only takes jobs he likes. He never fails. His enemies never live. He can help us deal with the local gang if we can convince him to join our gang. Meet Mr. Wolf. Anyway, yeah, this guy messages me, and he's like, well, listen, I'm like an audio engineer.
Boss,
I know
do
a
you
little
know
bit
about the heat thing? Usually every action that makes us feared puts more heat on our tail.
You know what? Stop interrupting me, you asshole. High fear is generally good for business, but it also means high heat. Heat increases over time by violent actions with a gang. High heat will result in police investigations of us. Favors from deputies can reduce the heat. You can also betray a friendly criminal to the police station and end the investigation. So yeah, anyway, so he messaged me and he's like, yeah, I know a little bit about microphones, and he says that, you know, YouTube videos can only record audio quality up to a certain point, and at that point it's useless. So like, okay, what kind of microphone would you suggest that I get? And he's like, you should get one called an Audio-Technica 2020. So I was like, okay, that sounds cool, and I did some research on it, and it, you know, looks like it's gonna better serve the needs of what I want it to do. And I was listening to some people doing like recording tests with it, and it sounded really nice, and I was like, okay, you know what, this is what I'm gonna go with. And I don't know if I've talked about this microphone. It's or what the make of it is. It's a Blue Yeti, and I don't know, like there's a couple things about it that just aren't doing it for me. One is the fact that I constantly have to switch levels and settings on it depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm talking with someone on Skype, I have to decrease the gain on it because it's too sensitive and they can hear everything that's going on in the background, and you can still hear that sometimes in the back of the video. And when I was doing editing for some of that video, it was just driving me nuts because I could hear more background noise than I can usually hear. Like you could beforehand, you could hear typing and clicking and that type of stuff, but now you can hear like the mouse dragging along the desk, and if you bump the bass, like picks all that stuff up, and it was driving me nuts. And then I would lower the gain, but then the audio of the game would become too high, and then I'd lower the audio of the game, and then you could hear all the background noise again. And it was just endless cycle, and I couldn't find a happy medium. But and yeah, I actually have been. So if you're gonna look for a microphone, I honestly would not recommend the Blue Yeti so much. I've actually been on the Twitter sphere, and I was mentioning that I got a new microphone, and then I was going to return it. And I don't know if you've heard of this thing called Twitter, but if you haven't, you should get on it. And if you get on it, you should follow me at ComradeJVS, and a fellow YouTuber by the name of Diplex Heated messages me, and he's like, "Oh, I've got the Blue Yeti microphone," and then when I send it back, he's like, "Oh, what's wrong with it?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's just not doing what I need it to do," and I'm gonna get the Audio Technica instead. So I'm excited for that whenever it comes in. Hopefully sometime next week it'll get here. So yeah, that's it for my rantings and ravings about the microphone. And I'm supposed to be eliminating these rackets somehow. I don't know. Let's ambush. Oh, so we need guns. How much would it be to buy firearms? $400. Or how much is this guy? Is he selling firearms? Oh, he's selling them for better.
Soldier, I'm looking. A real boss ain't afraid of grunt work.
So you go get that. How much use do I have? I'll be fine. But yeah, at work, what they've got me doing right now is they've got me implementing a new software called Salesforce, and that right now for me it entails figuring out all the different stuff about Salesforce and what it can do and all that good stuff, and then as well inputting a ton of data into this machine, so then the sales and marketing team of the company can then utilize it to do what they needed to do. And essentially Salesforce is it's basically like a giant database that you put a bunch of information in, and then it allows you to do reports and dashboards and do forecasts and all that good stuff that are important for companies in order to function on the fly, rather than what the company had been doing beforehand is typing all this stuff into an Excel spreadsheet, and it takes them like 3 days to write up a report or do a CRM or do a dashboard and that type of stuff. And my boss is like, we just want it to be instantaneous. So I've been spending hours and hours and hours of time doing data input, as well as figuring out what Salesforce is and what it can do. And it's a pretty powerful program, and it's definitely not rocket science, but it just takes a little while to learn what does what and what goes where, and what is going to be necessary for our company to use and what won't be necessary.
Oui, mon ami.
Pleased to finally meet you. My name is Frank Joseph, but you can call me Mr. Wolf.
People say I don't join gangs. They're right. None of them deserve me. Prove your gang is the best and I might reconsider that last statement. Northside Factory wants to fire the locals because of low profits. Bring me their financial records. I will save the neighborhood and test your worth. Then I will help you. Okay. Whatever you say, bro. So do we have our new guns? Yes, we do. Do a drive-by. You do a duck.
Who called for a doctor?
Yeah, just been lots and lots of data input. It seems like I change what I'm doing at work every 30 seconds. Or every week I'm doing something different. I've got a pretty all-encompassing role, and basically my job is to do the job, or to figure out the things that everyone else is too old or just doesn't have the time to figure out.
One hell of a ride.
And find out how those things can benefit us. Do we get rid of that racket, or?
I'll drink to that.
Okay, well, good stuff. You know, honestly, guys, I don't know if I'm going to keep up this Let's Play for much longer. I just, you know, people seem to be enjoying it. But it's definitely no Tropical 4. That's for damn sure. Can't execute recruiting either. Well, I gotta wait for heat to go down. There we go. Now we can do this shit.
Who called for a doctor?
But yeah, on the political side, I'm sure some of you know that in my province of British Columbia, there's an election upcoming in May, and I'm part of the election planning committee for the NDP candidate here in my riding of Penticton, and we've been meeting 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. My role is becoming more solidified as a member of the communications committee. So what it is the election planning committee is devolved into a bunch of smaller committees, because, you know, in politics you can never have too many committees. And we have like the financial committee and the voter outreach committee and the communications committee, and I'm part of that communications committee, along with there's 7 of us in total. I don't want to give in too much away in case you're an evil liberal and you're going to go and spill our secrets to the campaign. But I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, there's a bunch of us, and our job is to craft the message for our candidate and find out ways that we can get in the media and we can be heard, and, you know, get our message out there, essentially. And basically they've designated me as the ad guy, that I've got to come up with advertising, both video and picture form, that we can, you know, use to you know, get our you know, message out there. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm definitely learning a lot about how to run a campaign in Canada. Nice, because running a campaign in Canada and another country, say, I'll just pick one at random, America, is very different. Because in our elections, a candidate can only spend a maximum of $70,000 on their entire election campaign, and in America, I'm pretty sure it's infinite, or, you know, virtually there's no spending limit. So you can accumulate as much money as you want, essentially, but you can only spend $70,000 of it. And if you go over that, well then, you know, then shit happens, I guess. You get disqualified or whatever you want to say. Aren't I supposed to be doing shit? Oh my god.
Murder a drink.
We've actually got to fight. I don't know. Though I do definitely enjoy
On it.
the turn-based combat aspects of this game far more than the micromanagement aspects, or the macromanagement, or whatever type of management you want to say. Okay, well, how did you miss? Oh my god. He had 90% chance to hit, and somehow he fucked it up. It looks like our guys are split into 2 different teams. Oh, well. Oops. Anyway, shoot him in the face. Please. Okay, well, he might be dead.
I need a drink.
God, move. Okay. Where's this other guy?
I'm cool.
Alright, well, I need someone to run up there and beat them over the head with a baseball bat. That's gonna be you, big man.
Aim damn! Time to get a move on.
Okay, we need you to go. There we go. Hide behind here, and then you can snipe people. Oh, that's the area of effect. Type of dealio.
Yeah, boys.
So who doesn't have a lot of HP? This guy doesn't have a lot of HP.
I'm way better than you.
Once again, it's his cleaning.
I shoot you, you fall down.
Cleaning house.
I need a drink.
Oh crap! There's a guy right here. Well, shoot him. Shoot him good. Come on, that was a failure.
Time to turn up the heat.
That guy just comes over and like kicks him in the shins. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Ready, boss. I'm way better than you.
God, every time Squeaks is like the only one that kills people.
Aye?
Atta boy.
Yeah, you can't
My
really-
turn.
Can't really do anything. Okay, can you go over here and beat the crap out of him?
Right on.
Thank you. I didn't think he'd be able to do it. He had like an 85% hit ratio. Or hit chance. And somehow he missed.
Time to get a move on.
This one's terminal.
Is that everybody? Oh, no,
Ready,
there's still
boss.
one more guy.
My turn.
Nothing personal.
There we go. Hey, everybody got a kill this time. I think it's the first time everybody has actually managed to kill
Those
someone.
clowns were no match.
But during one of our election planning meetings, because we've been doing canvassing, right? We've been doing door knocking and phone banking, that kind of stuff. I've gone door knocking a couple times, which has been an interesting experience. You meet some interesting people, and sometimes you get nice people, and sometimes not so nice people. My favorite story ever, though, while door knocking, was the one time when we went up to this lady's house, and we're like, hey, we're trying to introduce our NDP candidate for the area, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I'll never vote NDP. And we're like, oh, well, why not? And she's like, well, because the NDP want to legalize abortion in Canada. Well, I mean, well, she didn't say in Canada, but, you know, that's... for the circumstances of this conversation, that is implied. Anyway... I don't have a high enough fear rating. But anyway, so yeah. But she's like, oh, I'll never vote for them because they want to legalize abortion. And I really wanted to remind her that in Canada, one, abortion is already legal, and two, provinces don't have any jurisdiction over that anyway. So even if, you know, abortion wasn't legal and the NDP wanted to legalize it, they wouldn't be able to because all laws are federally administered. But I held my tongue.
Le travail est terminé.
And refrained from telling her how woefully wrong she was. But anyway, we figure that sooner or later the Liberals, who are our main opposition in this election, because they form the current government, and there's three. Well, in BC, it's really a two-party race between the NDP, which stands for New Democratic Party, and the Liberal Party of BC. But there are two other parties. There's the Conservative Party, which is very unlikely to even get a single seat in this election, and then there's the Green Party, which is also very unlikely to get a seat. And the Conservatives are so weak in this province. There's a number of factors, and one of them is because they don't have good leadership. But another factor is the fact that the Liberal Party of BC is so far right that they don't really offer, that they've occupied all the space on the moderate side of the right wing spectrum. So anything more right wing than that is just kind of seen as people who are, you know, lunatics type of deal.
Time to fly.
But anyway, so eventually the Liberals are going to do the same thing, and they're going to start canvassing the area for, you know, their candidate. And one of our election planning members had a great idea, and he's like, well, when the Liberals come to your door, you should say, yes, I'm a Liberal supporter, because one, that screws up their own data, and two, that means they'll waste time on you and, you know, resources on you trying to get your non-existent vote out for election time. And say that you're going to take a sign, because if, you know, we say, yeah, we'll take a Liberal sign, we can then take off the bag and then use the metal, you know, the metal support for our own signs come election time. That's awesome. I don't know if that classifies as dirty tricks, but it's still pretty funny nonetheless. So where is that other racket we have to go and eliminate? Oh, I should probably sell beer somewhere. Go supply them. Oh, we don't have enough beer. Well, F that then. There's gotta be another racket we gotta take out somewhere around here. Security office. This minimap's kind of confusing. It's like backwards and reversed. Oh, we gotta go here. Damn. Well, we need liquor. Is anyone?
Hey, the impounded warehouse is
No rest for
full.
the boss.
I also had the opportunity. Wasn't able to sit and watch the entire recent PS4 Sony press conference because I was working at the time, but I did get the opportunity to catch up and watch some of the videos. And to be honest, you know, I wasn't that impressed with what they came to show. I will probably end up owning it eventually because I like to be platform agnostic, meaning I like to own all the platforms and be able to play, you know, all the games that come out eventually. But, you know, there was nothing, at least in terms of the gameplay that they showed, that made me think, wow, this is next gen, you know.
Stop!